concatenation, which will be used to link columns values together, right? So nothing but we'll be combining two column values as a single one. So here is an example. Okay, so that we did first name, last name, and we combine both of them, right? So instead of that, we can also use a concat function as well. It works in the same way. But here you see the row ID, row number that are added extra in this result because I am selecting those two columns additional to the column that we have in employees table. But this row ID, row num, they are not part of the table, but they are called as pseudo columns, but they will be added by the database engine by default. Okay, if you describe the table, you will not be seeing this row ID or row num, but you can still use them as part of your queries. And row ID is nothing but it's a unique row identifier in the table, and row num nothing but it's a sequence number that is assigned to each record. I mean, each record nothing but each row. Records are rows, I would say, rows in the table. Okay, that's what the meaning of row num and row ID. And row ID, it's helpful when we wanted to deal with duplicate records, or also this row ID will be used in indexes as well. Okay, and then we discussed character or literal strings. So it's nothing but, so to make our result set meaningful, so we can add extra strings or characters into our output. So using this combination of concatenation and then this string literals. So always these string literals are enclosed in single quotes. So literal chars are enclosed in single quotes. And again, so another example. This is just an example I wanted to show. Okay. I wanted to show this output today. Today is, what is the date? 16/08/024, right? I wanted to print this output. How can I do it, right? So again, because why I'm saying is because this one is having a single code. How can we do that in that way? So let's say select today is this, and there is something called dual, which is a dummy table oracle. So from here, I would say. See, quoted string now properly terminated. So I use this, but it's not working. If I remove this, right? If I only place one, see again, Suresh, some keyword not found, right? So in this case, I need to use this. So so now, what I wanted to print? Yeah, but what I'm thinking, so I would like to print this way, right? For that, we need to use this escape characters that's called this one. And I wanted to use this, right? Yes. Mhm. Okay, maybe I need to relook into the syntax, but this is called escape character, nothing but, in general, we have something called this quotes, single quote or double quote. But, so in this kind of SQLs, it's always seems like, see, yesterday I showed you, right? This one, right? But this means, so the SQL engine assumes that this is a continuous character and we are maintaining case as well as the space. But if I use something extra here, right, this causes an issue because there must be a starting and there's an ending. So it ended here. Again, it comes here. It will cease starting here when there is no end. But our intention is maintain this way. Or we only wanted to print this, combining only one, right? In that case, we wanted to make sure that extra quotation that is to be printed, we use escape characters. Escape character, nothing but backslash, that's it. That means the engine will understand the SQL engine. So this is a character that we wanted to print in the output. Okay, this is not part of any syntax. Okay, that's the meaning of this. Even these will be used in other programming languages as well, like Python, Java, or other programs as well. The same meaning basically across all programming languages, including SQL. But I'm not so seems like the issue is with the syntax. Okay, I'll come back to on this. But if you wanted to print the single quotes or double quotes, you can always use escape characters. Okay, and dual nothing but it's a dummy table. And if you wanted to do any calculations, right, maybe date calculation or something without using any table, that we can use. So it's like so we can select current date. This will give us the result. This is a default date format, DDMMYY. Okay, but if you wanted to print in a different way, right, you can use alter session set NLS date format we can use. And basically most of the date formats, right, DED, MM, YYY, HS 24 minutes and seconds. Set this, and if I print this current date again, it will give us this format. So across the session until we close our session, it will use the same date format. This is the current date, right? 9:36 and 9:36. But anyhow, the seconds will change. Now the time has changed 9:37, so it will give 9:37 or some seconds, right? So this is like one session settings actually. Okay, and DL it's nothing but it's a dummy table and it doesn't have any value, but uh, that's how the Oracle engine is developed. Okay, any questions? So again, so dual is dummy table No columns or rows inside. Okay, right. And this NLS date format, session parameter to set output date format. Okay, so whenever you select a date, right, by default, all the date formats will be given in this format in the outputs. Okay, all right. Any questions so far? Duplicate rows
No,
or
sir.
duplicate. Okay, great. Again, so I hope you don't have questions. Okay, that's fine. And then so far now, right? So we discussed string literals and concatenation now, and we also discussed row num, row ID, dual, which is a dummy table, and NLS date format. This is like session level parameter, right? Now, so let's say when you see some duplicates in the table, right? I don't see it on employees. I'm not sure if there are any duplicates, but I wanted to see if there are any. Okay, so instead of everything, I will select job ID. Okay, now if I select job ID by default, okay, let me you see there are duplicates in the result, right? There are many duplicates. But how to avoid this? I only wanted to print unique values in my result, right? Anyone know how to do that? Maybe Girish, you must know this. You are in the class.
Yes.
So how can we drop duplicates in the result?
By group by having count less than one.
By having count less than one. Okay, any other way? Simple way?
Simple way like no, I don't have an idea. Mostly I've used this in my previous projects.
Okay, so anyhow, I'll tell you. You know, distinct, right?
Yeah, distinct. It will give a unique value, right, for everything.
That's what. See,
Distinct is
duplicates and unique. I
yeah,
wanted to print
duplicate.
only unique.
Yeah,
So if I use distinct, you know, it's like oh, there will be no duplicates.
yeah,
19 records, no duplicates. Yeah, that's what I wanted to explain. So by default, right? In everywhere, I mean, not only here in all the SQLs, right? By default, the query will give all records. Okay, and all records nothing but including duplicates. All right. So the distinct keyword, right, will remove or it will only print only unique values. Okay, so the group by having one, right? So we'll be using that when we have more columns and it's some complex data. So that way we group by and then having count of one. That also works, but distinct will sufficient at this point of time. Okay, we'll talk about that when we are talking about the aggregate functions. So distinct is that simple, that's it. And again, so if you add any combination, right? Uh, distinct star, this way also we can use. Distinct followed by any column or all the results set, anything is fine. Right? It's fetched all of 107 records. It's not able to identify any duplicate. So whatever the columns that we mentioned, it will give us the unique combination in that result. Okay. So I will explain you when to use distinct and when to use group by at that point of time during the aggregations. Okay. Right. So this is one way that we can eliminate the duplicates in the result set. So again, so let's say we have these many records, right? 107 records. But if I wanted to print the details of any specific employee ID, right? How can I do that? Anyone? Okay. So basically we use where. Okay. So where is a class and which is used to add conditions on the query that we are writing. So let's say an example. So I would like to print only employee ID 170, the details of 170 employee ID. Okay. So basically what we're talking about here, restriction of query results, right? So what it will do, how to do. So we use where class to add filters on the query, the table, while querying, right? So again, how to do that, right? Okay. Let's say, so I have this select star from employees, and I would simply use where employee ID is equals to something like, I was thinking about selecting only this 170, right? So now it gives us only the particular record for 170. Okay, again, so how many ways that we can write these conditions, right? So basically this condition may be, right, maybe on column values, expressions, and any, you can also use logical operators, nothing but, this less than, greater than, or greater than or equal to, or less than or equal. Also, this is not equal. Okay, this is not equal. Okay, are getting me right? Also, we can use constants as well. So any numbers as well we can use. This is a constant, right? It's a number constant. Column values. Let's say uh, column is equals to column. We can also use, but I'll get to that point. So we are just starting in the beginning, right? So when we are doing some joins, right? So we'll be having more than one table. In that way, we can write conditions as emp.employee ID is equals to so department dot employee ID. So we can also write this So nothing but this is a column here directly. We can use column values also in the condition directly. Okay, but for a simplicity, let's go with employee ID for now. Right. And we can also print employee ID less than 175. Now, what would be the result now? So the results will be printed for all employee IDs which is less than 175. But will it print 175 in the result? It will not, because we are strictly saying less than 175, which will not include 175. Let me query this. See, 174. There is no 175, right? And if I use anything that is greater than 175, it will print everything until whatever that we have. It starts with the 176 because greater than 175, which will not include the 175 itself. But if you'd like to print 175, so again, so you need to use equal symbol, equal sign, which is greater than or equal to. So which will include 175 itself. Right. So again, so if I wanted to print, okay, where first name is equals to, if I wanted to use this, Jack. So if I use this, sorry, would it work? Yes or no? So it's saying Jack invalid identifier, because if there are no single quotes or something, so it will assume like there is a variable. But we want Jack. Right. Now it printed only this value. Again, this is nothing but any string literals or any character values when we are using in conditions, right? We must enclose them in single quotes. Condition that uses chars, right? Chars must be enclosed in single quotes. And so values enclosed in single quotes, right? Are case sensitive. So, okay, what I mean to say, if I use Jack, right? No values means whatever that we give as a condition value, this is case sensitive. If we wanted to search with the Jack, which is this, it will give us a result. Okay, but if we use Jack in a small case or lower case, it will not work, because in the table the first name is camel case, which is the first character is uppercase. Did you get me what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In a similar way, date format as well would be a strict. So let's say, Alex, I'll tell you an example, because we are having, just do a simple select star. Okay, whatever. I'll just use this alone. We have a higher date here, right? So which is 2304/2006. So if you use a different format, maybe YYYMMDD, that will not work. Yes, where hire date is equals to day 3/04/2006. Now we got this, right? So the date format also we need to follow. If I use 2006 and 4/23, will it work? No. So whatever the format that we are having in the table structure or a data type having that format, we must use the same format to filter the dates. So I would say date values are format sensitive. Okay, so that means whatever the format that is stored, we must use the same format to filter the date format, right? Any questions so far?
No, sir.
Okay, so higher date, right? Dates can be used like less than, greater than as well. So let me tell you an example. By the way, what is this? 2306, right? So I can use this way as well. So it's giving here are the people that are hired less than this date. And we can also use so this, right? So the other way can also use greater than this date. Okay. So this is all about, these are just very simple where conditions, but we will be discussing whatever the upcoming classes, right? We'll be using all the concepts that we discussed so far, concatenation, aliases, and null values, everything. So that's why we started with the very basics and then we are progressing towards the complex things. So I am uploading these files as is so that you can understand with the query examples as well. And when I upload it, download it, save in your local and read it one more time so that it will can remember. Okay, so one more thing. So how to do arithmetic operations? So with this, we'll close the class. Arithmetic operations. So what is arithmetic again? So it's like plus, minus, or and division, right? So let's say I wanted to add salary plus 100, right? So let's say select salary comma salary plus 100 from employees. Okay, and I'll just print past 5 records. I don't want to print everything else. It's just a demonstration purpose, right? Now you see for each value there is 100 added. It's that simple basically. So and I'll do one thing, add 100, then salary minus 100. This is subtract 100, and so we can also use this way. So we can write queries in multiple lines. Okay, so I would say salary into maybe I would say 10 and multiply 10, right? So, right? Added 100, subtracted 100, then multiply, it will be having extra 10, whatever that we have just in, right? And comma salary divided by 10, divide 10, right? Again, so we have this. So from this salary, we have divided by 10, nothing but it will remove the last 0 simply, right? Yeah, it's very simple. These arithmetic are that simple, to just using whatever it is. Again, otherwise, right, you can also do this. So 23 into 35, whatever it is. So you can also use this. Okay, just play with this kind of things. You will get to understand more on the things, right? See, we used this is, alias, right? Again, this is a condition. These are arithmetics. And this query span across multiple lines. But again, we discussed if I use this way, it will express from keyword not found because it span across multiple lines. So that will not work. Okay. Any questions so far on this? So we will continue from next class on the where class. I mean, so what are the different operations that we can do with a where and what are the different operators that we can use in the where class? Okay, from next class. Any questions? We are
No,
going
sir.
very slow, step by step, and practice all this in SQLs. Only asking SQL queries, you might fail in an interview. So it's very important to understand every basic about the SQL. That's why even I'm going very slow. So these are all things we can give a simple example and leave it, right? So I won't do that way. If you know SQL, you will write Hive queries very easily, and you write Spark code very easily. Even if you wanted to learn Databricks or you wanted to Athena or Redshift or Snowflake, everything is connected with SQL. So if you know SQL, you are good at all the rest of them. That's why I'm stressing more and read and practice. And one more thing, if you are facing issues with the SQL developer, there is an alternate way. Okay. This run SQL command line. Okay. Now you can connect, HR by HR connected. Okay. Select star from employees. It will give. But the only difference is, so the word wrap will be there. You will be seeing the result in multiple lines, but you can still use this until that issue is fixed. Fair employee ID is equals to 179. And again, because I'm using this SQL, it will be expecting me to give a semicolon. Then only it will assume like the query is finished. I can start executing it, right? If you don't give semicolon, so it will be, asking in the next line, like line number 2, right? I don't use semicolon here. And in the next input, it's asking for something else because it assumes there is something pending on the query. When you hit semicolon, that assumes, yes, the query is finished, I can execute. That way it will understand. And one more thing, you can write queries multiple lines as well here. Oh, it's not working. Yeah, this is the old SQL. Yeah. Okay. But the other query engines it will allow, but this is a very basic one that we install, so not allow. So it's like even you type this and where first name is equals to Jack. I used to teach this way actually earlier classes, earlier batches, using this SQL command line, but the SQL developer is easy, and in the most of the companies, right, we use IDEs only. We will not directly connect with this kind of legacy tools. And that's the reason I've started using this SQL developer. Okay. Any questions again?
No, sir.
So an SQL developer can use, right, exit, that will exit again. So how to connect again? SQL, run SQL command line, open it, and even other way, right? Just press connect. It will ask for username. I'll type HR, password, HR. That's it. It will connect. It's that simple. I know. I think Subbareddy, you right? You are getting this issue or someone else?
Sir, me.
Yeah, you can use this temporarily. We will work
Okay.
out on that.
Okay.
Yeah, this way. Basically, I'm using this run SQL command line. And I suspect maybe for you, right? Sometimes this C drive, sometimes it will not allow us to run something because of restricted permissions. I'm not sure. Maybe you are using your personal laptop, but copy to other maybe D drive or something. Try it out. If that does not work, so we will connect sometime and we'll fix it. Okay. Or you can stay online so others can drop. Okay. I'll talk to Subbareddy on this issue.